Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your patience as we finished up executive session. We are going to, hi. We're going to start our meeting as usual with the
Pledge of Allegiance.
thank you, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For some reason, I wanted to say Singing of America the Beautiful, and I don't know.
That's going to have to go to somebody else.
I don't know that anybody was going to be up for that.
Yes.
Okay. 4.1, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Hammers?
Barnett. Aye. Blissett. Aye. Gilmore. Aye. Imes. Aye. Lael Wolf.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
That is 6 aye votes.
5.1, President's comments. Public comments will occur during the public comments portion of this meeting. The board will not allow interruption during the meeting. If you are interested in addressing the board, fill out a required public participation at board meetings form out in the foyer and submit to Ms. Hammers. Okay, 6.1, Superintendent's report. Superintendent.
Okay, it'd be great if I could have a meeting where I don't have to get through one of these, but it is with a heavy heart that I share the passing of a longtime board member, Scott McFarland. He passed away following a medical emergency in his home on Saturday morning. Serving as a board member for Subdistrict 3 on our north end of town, Scott served as a member from May of 2011 through May of 2015. He had a service break where he ran for city council, very close race, and then he ran for the board again unopposed and served from May of 2019 through February of 2021, where he and his family moved to Columbus, Missouri. He served in, and they're now living in Moline. He served in a leadership capacity on this board as vice president from May of 2019 through May of 2020, and then he was president from May of 2020 through February of 2021, which was arguably one of the hardest eras of our district with COVID and the things that we faced during that time. Our hearts go out to his wife, Amber, and the entire family. Amber worked at the ELC, and she also did her student teaching with us at Harvard Park. If Scott were here today, I no doubt that he would give me some life advice, such as a Spock quote from Star Trek. Logic is his favorite. Logic is the beginning of wisdom, not the end, which calls on us to use logic and relationships in all decisions we make. He helped me through the pandemic decisions as a team, with all of our stakeholders taking in all of their information. Captain Picard would say, make it happen. And when it came to supporting volunteerism, he would do just that in any way possible. His service to our One Hope United foster grandparent program was one of the most noble things he did for our entire community. Not only did he know each of the grandparents that worked in our schools, but he would go out and check on them and make sure that we always had support anytime we needed volunteers. To his family, I can hear him say, live long and prosper. His love for Anastasia was apparent. She used to bring her to all the different school board events and family events, and his excitement for the birth of his twins, Clark and Addison, will forever leave an imprint on my mind because I'm about to become a grandma, and I can remember his joy during the time that his wife was pregnant with the twins. No doubt he would say, go Cubs go, as well. Please take a moment of silence to remember Scott, only 41 years old, and the legacy that he imprinted on our hearts. All right, thank you very much. Julie, if we could put the superintendent's report up. We had a great event here at Fiat. We wondered how we would ever use a big parking lot. We don't need half the spots for, but this is a show of what we could do with a piece of property in a very positive way. This was us looking down from the third floor here to take this picture, and soon after this picture was taken, I think we had over 1,000 families here. And we gave out, I think, 1,000 different book bags that were full of supplies, and then all of the vendors, 85 strong, had different surprises and things to go in the book bags as well. There was a little bit of candy, too. You got to make it fun when it's a family event. So it was quite amazing, the community groups that came out, and then as I walked around, they just want to make sure that they have everything that they need to start back to school. So our first annual event was on site to collaborate with our families. We gave away as much as we possibly could, and we had free food from Mr. D's, our Manny D's, and E's House of Flavors. We had an amazing number of families and community members that also showed up to help us in passing some things out. And we had teachers and principals from across the district that came upon our cry for some volunteers, so we appreciated that greatly. Also want to thank our neighbors in and around Fiat. It was kind of crazy here for a while with finding parking, but we had SMTD and our Springfield First Student helping us transport families back and forth. And want to give a big shout out to Little Flower, who let us use their pretty large parking lot to get kids and families over to the event. We had the weather became perfect for us after a very hot week. So we got a lot of great positive feedback, some of which are on the slides. And we also got some great feedback on our social media page too. But I love this. What a great way to reach out to all families and provide a source of unity. From our former school administrator in a different city, this is a perfect way to work collaboratively with students, families, schools, and the community. The next line shows the line for school supplies. What a great event, wonderful job. This is an outstanding, thank what you do for our kids. I think that it was just a great event. We also had a lot of free giveaways of just different fun summer activities, and so we called out names. That was a good time. And then the food line was going the other direction, and it was pretty long too, but families waited patiently because it smelled so good. Once you got up there, you were very happy to get some of that barbecue. So again, thanks for all of the volunteers that came out. One last other shot that they had, you can just see all of our law enforcement came out, and they had some pretty cool activities for the kids. All of our first responders, the mayor came, police chief came, several of our aldermen, Sean Gregory, Jennifer Notriano, and who else was here? Misty, well, yeah, Misty, the mayor, was here. Yeah, so it was great. Senator Turner came for a while, and thanks to the board members that were able to show up. So it was just a good time for us to be able to showcase what our whole entire community has to offer families, not just District 186. Going on to the next slide, important date, keep kids in school, physical and immunization. We have some walk-in clinics that are now scheduled. We had a clinic on Molina Clinic was here with Springfield. The clinic, Springfield Clinic, sponsored that, and we gave out some immunizations and physicals during that event. But we have two other dates coming up. August 6th is the physical clinic only, and that's at Matheny Withrow Elementary School from 8:30 until 12 p.m. Pre-K, kindergarten, 6th and 9th grade, and new students to Illinois. Remember, we do require a physical. August 6th, we also have a immunization-only clinic at the Sangamon County Department of Public Health, and that will be held again on Friday the 8th. So once again, we have events on Wednesday and Friday of this week. Please make sure you think about getting your child's physical right now and getting in with your regular care physician if you don't take us up on one of these clinics. So again, this is just a schedule now message. I guess it's kind of a duplicate of the last one. All right, going on to the next one. In-person registration was today, so people were out and about and still going, well, it just wrapped up, I guess, from 11 until 6 today. Middle school and high school will still be open for registration tomorrow as well from 8 o'clock until 2 p.m. However, all principals want to accept families in to register. We would prefer you get registered, and that's why we're there in the offices during this time of year. So please stop by and register if you need assistance, but remember we have a great handy-dandy online registration system that you can do from anywhere. So make sure that you take us up on registering, making sure we know you're on your way this school year and we can plan accordingly. So that is an important message to get out there. We've done a lot of robocalls. Thank you, Ms. Dias, for all your work in getting that information out. Have another big event also on Thursday, August 7th, Freshman Forward at Lanphier High School, Springfield High School, and Springfield Southeast. Yes, we will have Freshman Forward at Springfield High. So everything will be ready to roll for them to be in and around, and that'll actually help them see where to go. It may look different if they had an older sibling just because of the construction. And then we also will be able to meet your teachers and staff, tour the school, and learn more about the high school experience. That starts at 8:24 because we run buses and start a regular school day, and you're done at 11:30 that day. So we're welcoming the class of 2029. That seems like so far away from now. All right, moving on to sixth grade orientation, equally important. These will be held at each of our middle schools, including Isles. And that's Thursday, August 7th as well. Theirs begin at 8 o'clock and go until 10 o'clock. Remember, they do ride the buses just normal, or if they get dropped off, it begins at 8 o'clock. So meet the students, tour the school, learn about how to handle lockers and all that fun stuff. So please make sure that you send your child if they're in 6th or 8th grade. And we will have our web leaders helping out at the sixth grade orientation, and it's where everybody belongs, and it's a great program of student leadership. Our Schools, Our Future, our first one, this one excited me more than ever. We finished up the last phase of Du Bois's new gym floor. Do we have to hit it again?
Oh, I'm like, is that what it looks like?
No, it doesn't
That's
look like
bad.
that on my screen. Hit it again. Did it not come through?
No.
Okay. Well, can you help her real quick, maybe see if we can refresh because you put that in later.
Certainly.
So, anyway, here's what happened at Du Bois. They replaced a 45-year-old carpeted gym.
Carpeted?
And yes, it was orange carpet. And you know why I know it's 45 years old? Because I am not 45 anymore. And when I was 10, that carpet was in that gym and it was still there. This is the new floor. They ripped that all up. Overnight, it smelled better. Like I don't even know if it's overnight. Within 5 minutes, it smelled better. And no more rug burns. This is a really nice laminate made for this type of a surface for a gym floor. It just looks beautiful. So pretty excited that we were able to renovate that. That was on the last phase of the Du Bois work. Up next, we have more Springfield High renovations, which are moving fast. You can see they've walled in the new second floor area for band and choral wing and the music commons where they have all their instrument storage and their practice rooms. It is going to be amazing. I walked through the space with my hard hat and closed-toed shoes on the other day so that I could see everything in person, and the size of these rooms is going to be something pretty amazing. I don't know if you know, Springfield High had their band and choir in a basement that was pretty awful. And so this is going to be a really great thing. I know Lucy Boucher, the teacher, and the band teacher, they're going to be excited when they see this. The first floor below that, where it's bricked in, is the kitchen. On the other side of that wall is the full kitchen, much like you see at Lanphier High School. And the practice rooms for Lanphier are very similar to where they have that common space where people can store their instruments outside. And that's going to overlook the green space that is going to be made when they tear down the old gym once it's finished. And the last one, they did pour the concrete on the new Dewey Gymnasium floor. So it's smoothing out and getting ready for the next phase. And you can see some of the windows that are getting roughed in there to close in that building. Obviously, the goal for this project in Owen Marsh is to get everything closed in so that when it does get cooler here in the later fall, that it will be ready for us to work inside rather than having to deal with the elements.
Do they think the gym's going to be done by basketball season, or?
It may not be done in November at the kickoff of basketball season, but after the holidays, sort of like Lanphier did that too, where they started in one gym and then moved to the other. I don't know if you have any
February
update.
1st. We're planning on getting in February 1st.
February 1st, okay, good deal. And last night, this is a drone image of the top of Owen Marsh. So the walls have been going up around, the center is the storm shelter, and you can see the rooftops that are going in, and they're pouring the concrete on each of the floors. And then you can start to see how it's taking shape around. So I've been over there a couple days too, seeing what's going on, and it's pretty amazing. You can see where they poured the rest of the Circle Drive back in, and now that whole area is completely fenced off with very large fencing so that the work can continue. And the main entrance into the school will be back the way it used to be, pretty tight quarters, but it was tight quarters before. So that's what it looks like now. That's the end of my report. So if anybody has any questions or has anything regarding Scott, I'll turn it over to you.
I did just want to circle around to the that back-to-school event. So I've always been told, do a good job and take the credit. So I just want to heap some credit your way, Superintendent.
Thank you.
Also Terrence Jordan. I mean, I could go around the room. There's a laundry list of people that were all there helping to make this happen. And I was not prepared for the turnout. I know you were sending messages like, hey, come by, check it out, but it blew me away, the amount of organizations in the community that when somebody takes the time and the effort to put the plan together, just how many resources are here and how the community can respond. So,
And they were
again,
thanking us for having the event, which is a great feel.
yeah, so just, I wanted you to publicly get that recognition because it was a lot of hard work.
And I will turn, 99.9% of it to Terrence Jordan and his team, because they really did a great job of really thinking through things. And we've got a great team here that want to support families, for sure.
Yeah.
I just want to piggyback on your two events coming up on Thursday for, well, it's a lot of events at same night, same event, different places. Those transition events, going into high school for the first time or going into middle school for the first time, my kiddo attended those events too, and they are really very well organized, and they decrease stress so much. So those transitions are really hard for kids. So if you get an opportunity on Thursday, I really hope that the public will take their kiddos to those transition events, because it makes a huge difference on how they start day one on August 18th. So I appreciate the buildings and the teachers coming in on those days and saying hello and kind of decreasing that. The fear of the unknown is always a big thing. So I really appreciate everybody taking the time to do that.
Sounds good. All right, I think that's all I have to say. I'll say one more thing is, I look out here and I see a lot of friendly faces that I've worked with many, many years in this room. Thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do. We have not been able to get back to the table since the last board meeting because we are using a person to help us with the negotiation, and the next day is tomorrow, so we'll be at the table. So just know it's not like we haven't moved since the last board meeting, we just really haven't had a chance to talk. We, the board, I think also, we appreciate you, and we appreciate what you do, but we're also trying to manage a fiscal dilemma that we have in front of us. So we're working hard, but we appreciate you, and I hope you hear that from all of us. It's not an easy thing for me to sit up here. It makes me more nervous than anything I ever stand up in front of, and you know I stand up in front of a lot of people at a lot of time. But when I care about you, it makes it even harder. So thank you for being here. We never think it's negative that you're here, and we love all your red. And thank you for what you do, and thank you for what you're about to do with getting your room set up and all of that. My daughter is a fourth-generation teacher. It runs through our blood. I was a teacher first. We know. This job is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, and that's just dealing with all the things that we have to think about. So thank you again.
Okay. Any other questions or comments for the superintendent? Okay, great. Thank you. All right, old business, 7.1. Does any board members have any old business to discuss?
I have some old business. I'd
Okay.
like to give a little update on scope. Mr. Jordan sent me an email. So we have 639 kids registered so far for this year.
We're hoping that went up today at registration.
Yeah, hopefully.
639?
639, which is compared to, he said, at the time he sent me the email, 736 last year. So we did open
At the
the
end of the
scope
year.
registration up a little bit later this year, so a little bit normal to see the lower number right now, but like the superintendent said, that will probably pick up with in-person registration today, and it will even pick up as we get into the first few days of school. If I'm understanding his numbers correctly, there's only 3 schools that are full, and those are Du Bois, Lee, and Lindsay. Those schools have kids on the waiting list. Every other school still has availability, is what I'm understanding from his numbers, so.
I think what they'll do is they'll wait and look at the numbers and see what we can do for those people that are on
Right,
waiting
yeah.
lists, because people need answers,
Yeah,
for sure.
so that was my old business. I just wanted to give that update.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
you.
that. Any other old business to come before the board? Okay. New business, 7.2, do we have a new business to discuss? I have one thing from IASB. The month of August, apparently they're, and you'll get the information, I will send it out to you, I'll have Julie send it out to you. They're all talking about community. So the division meetings for IASB, they're up and on the webpage now. The Abe Lincoln Division meets in Broadwell, and that's on October 2nd. They do not have topics listed yet, but that'll be coming very shortly, so make sure you follow the link to that webpage. And then Super Saturday is coming on September 13th, and that's a day for new board members.
I'm signed up.
Okay, good.
They're staring.
And there's three choices, so Ms. Barnett could have gone to Collinsville, Peoria, or Naperville.
Peoria.
Peoria, Naperville, you could do Chicago trip, whatever, okay, fine. And they have a new board member page, which I know that Ms. Barnett has already found. And then the IASB community, which is a platform for board members to connect with other board members across the state, to share questions, share ideas, resources, experiences, those kinds of things. And that link is also going to be included in the flyer that Ms. Hammers will send out on my behalf. Any questions? Okay. Okay, 7.3, board policy updates. The superintendent sent updates about board policy changes coming. Some are new, related to new legislation. Some are tweaks and adjustments. Some are retiring. I think, was there one that was a retiring board policy? Maybe I dreamed that. Regardless, did anybody have anything they wanted to ask or needed any further clarification on?
This is just the first reading, so it is our introduction into the policy that and they were attached to electronic school board. It is something that is sent to us by press policy through Illinois Association of School Boards. They write and adjust based on any law, but they also see things that need tweaked, and some of them are just review as well. So it's just like, this is the time that we say every 5 years we'll review it. So we've reviewed it and we're submitting it now for first reading. I guess the newest one, there was a new one on just for students who are parents, expectant parents or victims of domestic and sexual violence. This was something that was a law that went into place, so it was created in response to that, which it's a great one. It's good, and it's good.
That was the only brand-new one, correct?
I think so. The
Yeah,
rest are just
everything else
review, and
was
monitoring
review.
means it's on one of those 5-year cycles, so we're expected to review them as a board and then readopt them. And then some of them are just updates or rewritten based on law that's happened. So, like I said, there's like over 60.
I
lot
was
of 'em.
wondering, when we review these and adopt them, can we change some of the language from he or she to just say they, so it's a little more inclusive?
We can, we take it as it's written in the, IASB press policy, but if we want to change any of the words, then that is up to the board to make a proposal and then second that and vote, and then we can make a change. We can also add any specific language that's for District 186, how we do things, or, tweak it to make it ours. So we give you the first reading of the actual policy that press does, and then if we want to change something, we just need a motion to be made at the next board meeting when we do our second reading. Or in between, so I can get it ready for you all and get it out to everybody.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, thank you. Public comment, 8.1. Have my little thing I have to read. The Board of Education and I encourage public comment and public participation in board meetings. However, it is inappropriate for any person to name a student or an individual employee, including designating an employee by job title rather than name in open session. If any public commenter wants to address issues related to an individual student or a District 186 employee, that commenter commenter is invited to contact the board office or a member of the cabinet prior to public comment. It is not the intention of the board to discourage public comment in any way. Rather, it is the intention of the board to address issues regarding individual students and employees in an appropriate manner. We thank you for respecting the privacy of our students and employees by following this rule. District 186 streams board meetings on YouTube, and all content posted there is subject to YouTube's content guidelines. Springfield Public Schools District 186 continues to encourage public comment. Statements made by speakers during public comment do not represent the views or opinions of the Board of Education or Springfield Public Schools District 186. All right, so we have a few speakers signed up for this evening. Our first speaker is Stacy Erickson.
Ms. Erickson, you'll have 3 minutes, and the clock will show up. It's up there on the screen. The countdown will start once you start.
Okay, I wrote this before I knew Erica would be gone, so here we go. Madam President, members of the school board, esteemed colleagues, hold for applause, and all guests, good evening. I come to you today with a very serious concern, but I promise to keep it light. Our school district is suffering from a condition I like to call supervisoritis, an overgrowth of supervisors multiplying faster than middle school rumors. Now, don't get me wrong, supervision is very important. As a cross-cat K2 teacher, I deal with abundance of supervisors. Here's my list: a reading curriculum supervisor, a math curriculum supervisor, special ed building supervisor, cross-cat supervisor, the parapro supervisor, PT supervisor, OT supervisor, case manager, transportation supervisor, building principal, and administrative intern. When there are so many supervisors that a supervisor is needed to coordinate the other supervisors, we have a problem. It's starting to feel like there's someone supervising every planning period just in case teachers want to go to the bathroom or catch their breath. We are out here teaching reading, math, writing, second steps, science, social studies, health, and social skills with equity, building relationships, becoming trauma-informed, helping kids with trauma, all while juggling lesson plans, emails, bus duty, committee meetings, BBSS, and the monthly fire drill. While some supervisors are still deciding what color the next committee meeting folder should be. And have you ever tried to get an answer to a simple question? You email one person who forwards it to another, who says, let me check with someone else, who sends it to a department head who's out of office until the second Tuesday of next week. By the time you get a response, the school year's over. We are building a very tall ladder with no one holding it steady at the bottom. Let's be honest, we need more boots on the ground, less suits in fiat, more help in the classrooms, less supervisors sitting, more teaching and learning, less outside demands. So here's my suggestion. Maybe instead of hiring another supervisor, we invest in, pay more, give a raise to the people who are actually with our kids every day, our teachers, our attendants, our assistants. At the end of the day, education happens in the classroom, not in a conference or boardroom. Thank you, and please don't supervise me too much after this.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Natalie Washington.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm Natalie Washington, a licensed educator and paraprofessional who served this district with pride and dedication until I spoke up. I was removed from my substitute kindergarten teaching assistant position after bringing up pay discrepancies, despite confirmation of my qualifications from the Regional Office of Education, thus leaving a teacher who was contractually owed an assistant without one for 4 months of the remaining school year. I was reassigned without due process, without training, and placed in a position that ultimately led to a serious workplace injury. And again, pay discrepancies. Even after my injury, I'm being punished. The district is docking wages I earned before I got hurt, and I've even told that when I return to work, they'll continue to dock my pay because I had to take a work comp leave. Multiple occasions I've been underpaid, and now they're taking even more just because I got injured in a position I feel like I shouldn't have been in to begin with. When I ask questions, I'm met with excuses, silence, or lingo that suggests that 186 policies trump Illinois laws, and what I believe to be retaliation. Since I have filed with the Department of Labor, Department of Human Rights, the Illinois State Board of Education, and the Attorney General's office, I have over 600 pages of documents, including internal emails, voicemails, FOIA requests, and well over a dozen letters of recommendation from staff across District 186. I'm not here tonight for pity, though. I'm here for accountability. Transparency is not optional when public institutions serve children, and silence in the face of harm protects nobody but those doing the harming. I truly hope that you hear me tonight. I truly hope that you have more respect for those in the building doing the real work behind our youth's future. I truly hope that no one again ever has to go through even a fraction of what I've been through in the short amount of time that I've been with the district. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Andy Marvel.
Good evening, members of the board, superintendent, and colleagues. My name is Andy Marvel. I'm a teacher in this district and a parent in this community. I'm not here to create conflict. I'm here to tell the truth, and if that truth makes anyone uncomfortable, ask yourself why. Here's the reality. I spend hours outside my contract writing IEPs, legal documents that this district is federally required to uphold. If they're done wrong or ignored, the district is at risk for lawsuits. No extra pay, no extra time, no extra help. On top of that, I teach 13 students with 13 different diagnoses and goals, with almost no curriculum built for them and barely enough prep time to plan one lesson, let alone 13. And I'm not an outlier. This is what special educators do every single day. Unpaid hours, impossible caseloads, silence because that's what's expected. Meanwhile, while teachers are drowning, something interesting happened. 3 members of this superintendent's cabinet just got new titles. No explanation, no transparency. But let's not pretend we don't know what title changes often come with. In 2021, we watched administrators walk away with double-digit raises, while teachers are told their increase couldn't top 6% because of TRS. That's not coincidence, that's a pattern, and patterns are choices. And while we're talking about choices, let's clear something up. At the last meeting, we heard gratitude for all the teachers who work summer programs, extended school year, camp kindergarten, summer school. Let's be honest, we're not working through June and July because we just love being exhausted year-round. Yes, we love kids. Yes, we care about this work, but teachers need rest to avoid burning out, and most of us can't afford to take that rest. We're teaching summer school because we didn't get those double-digit raises, because we're trying to keep our lights on and gas in the car. That's not passion, that's survival. We've been told the budget is tight, we've been told your hands are tied, but when leadership wants something, magically hands aren't tied anymore, solutions appear, creativity flows, money moves. So forgive us if we can't no longer cuts it. If you can find loopholes to uplift titles, you can find the will to respect the people keeping this district compliant and functioning. Because this isn't just about a contract, it's about priorities, it's about integrity, it's about the leadership of this district practicing what it preaches. The most important title in this district isn't executive director or chief of something, it's teacher. And it's time that title gets the respect it's owed. I truly believe we can still get this right. Our students deserve teachers who come back ready to teach, not burned out from summer side jobs, not distracted by endless board meetings, and not weighed down by financial stress. They deserve teachers who are refreshed, focused, and supported, because when teachers thrive, students succeed. I hope we reach a fair contract before school begins, because this isn't just about us, it's about every child who walks through those doors. To my colleagues, as Alice Walker once said, the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. We have power, let's keep using it together. Thank you.
And our last speaker is Aaron Graves.
Good evening, Board of Education, Superintendent, Cabinet Administrators, and SEA. That's really tough to top. Stacy, Natalie, those are the words of true educators. These are boots on the ground, people in the trenches, doing it every day. They love kids. They love this school district. And we know you guys do too. But we come here every time we get to this crossing in the road, and we show up in red. Here we are, telling hard truths. Every single time. I mean, but we're telling harder truths than ever. We're talking about educational bureaucracy. I think that's the term for it. Am I right, Andy? We continue down this pathway. We find ourselves in this same spot, and we act surprised. It's almost like some twisted theater. It doesn't need to be like this. We know where the changes need to happen. We know where the cuts need to happen. We know where we need more people. We know what schools are imbalanced. We know where the inequities exist. We can change all of it. We can do it together as a team. We don't need to come in here and lock horns. It's totally unnecessary. I don't want to sit down without, again, echoing the superintendent's condolences to Scott's family. He and I didn't always see eye to eye, but I respected his strength and his compassion and what he wanted to do to make this school district better. That's what I remember about Scott. And that's what these people want too. We're going back to the table tomorrow and Wednesday. Let's find a way to work together and iron some of these things out and bring this thing to a close. Thank you.
Thank you to all our public commenters. We do like it when we hear from everyone, so thank you for taking the time this evening to come in tonight and share your thoughts. Okay, 10.1, we have no presentations, correct?
No.
To the board, okay. So 10.1, I'm going to turn it over to Superintendent.
Okay, I guess Vice President Leo Wolf and members of the board, I recommend approval of the consent action items 11.
We're on business reports.
Oh, we're on, I flipped it.
He was
Wishful
feeling left
thinking.
out.
Wishful
could've left
thinking
off
on my
easy,
part.
but I just
I don't love your reports, no, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for what you do. Steve, go ahead, sorry. I'm moving on to consent action.
Thank you, Mrs. Gill. Good evening, Vice President Leo Wolf and members of the board. Tonight's business report will provide a recap of where we stand with outstanding state payments as of July 29, 2025, and the cash roll forward for capital projects funds as of June 30th, 2025. Outstanding payments for the state of Illinois for FY26 total $169,526, and that is as of July 29, 2025. And the entirety of this amount is due to special projects. So we are up to date with our state payments, which is good news. The capital funds revenues and expenditures incurred during the month of June 2025 is as follows. Investments for the capital project shows a beginning balance of $117,702,247.69. And total revenues in the investment funds, dividends, and interest was $126,122.19. Bond draws and expenses for this period came to $4,311,651.10. This yielded an ending balance of $113,517,718.78. The district received $1,136,214 in sales tax receipts in June, and this was for the March reporting period. Since 2019, the district has received $70,722,837 in sales tax, and there was a 12-month average collection of $1,164,459. Currently, the district's sales tax money is used to pay the principal interest of the bonds sold for its capital projects. As of June 30th, 2025, the district had $3,570,236 in its CFST savings account. The next payment of $3,244,044 is due on December 1st, 2025, and a total of $12,520,963 will be paid in the next two bond payments. So we've started including this graphic to show our total money as how we have it in the CFST account. Our next two bond payments are the $3.2 million and the $8 million. Those are in the blue and the green. That is a total of $12.5 million over the next two bond payments. In the CFST account, we have that $3.5 million that's in the bottom bar, and I have colored that green to show that we are currently saving for that June bond payment. So we have enough in the account for the December, and we are saving for the June. The total number of the 12.5 at the top will change in the next couple months as our next bond payment numbers come in, and it will go up a little bit with how much we owe in June. But we are on track to have enough saved for that June payment. Vice President Wolf, members of the board, this concludes the business report for August 4th, 2025. Are there any questions?
Steve, I just want to thank you and the staff, particularly Mike Grossen and Steve Minch, for sharpening their pencils and being able to save some money. I have a report about $500,000 that Mr. Grossen was able to save for this going year, and $30,000 with regard to Mr. Minch on phone services. And I wanted to thank them for their efforts.
Any other questions or comments for Mr. Miller? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, now 11.1.
All right. I recommend approval of consent action items 11.2 through 11.10 as described in the corresponding resolutions. Sorry for wanting to move forward to get home tonight, huh? All right.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. Go ahead.
So if you wouldn't mind kind of explaining what some of these are, but specifically 11.8.
8, yeah.
And I know that deals with speech language pathologists,
Right.
but I know that just kind
I'll
of,
quickly go through the bids and then explain 11.8, but I also have Mr. Lehman here in the room. There he is up front today. 11.4 is actually produce, a bid for produce. We go out for bid every year for food service. This is a 3-year bid with a rollover review after each year through 6/30 of 2028. The previously awarded contract went to Creation Gardens, DBA What Chefs Want, and the district received one bid from Creation Gardens, DBA What Chefs Want. The total bid submitted was $429,793. It was a slight increase this year over last year's contract, which began in fiscal year 2022 by $44,000. 11.5 is food service equipment, maintenance and repair, which is an annual bid. This is a every 3-year bid. The 3-year rollover review after each year. Again, We give you the information about which company, but it increased per hour service rate from 125 to 127 per hour. For miscellaneous food prep equipment repairs, the per hour rate for refrigeration freezer equipment repairs increased from 125 to 127 per hour as well. 11.6, consulting agreement with Carnegie Learning. This is a year-long agreement with Carnegie Learning to provide professional learning and development for teachers implementing Clear Math in its third year. The teacher training and support will ultimately support and continued increases in student learning and achievement in math. This is paid for by Title I School Improvement Funds 1003 grants, and it's going to be a total cost of $62,400 for Du Bois and Lee schools specifically. 11.7, consulting agreement with Transformation Advisory Group. Again, this is another Title I fund program. This is a year-long consulting service to provide a focused partnership on 3 aligned priorities: increasing graduation rate, increasing the number of ninth graders on track, and increasing ACT readiness. The engagement will strengthen instructional leadership, deepen equitable and ambitious instructional practices. The total is $22,000. 11.8, agreement with Link Up Teletherapy. So this is the one you just referred to. It will provide assigned therapists to perform speech and language therapy services through teletherapy in accordance with the student's IEP in conjunction with the Springfield School District 186 staff members for the sole purpose of covering speech and language vacancies that exist. The agreement is effective August 11th through February 15th at a contract rate of $11,157 per week for 3.5 full-time equivalent SLP based on an $85 an hour rate. So it is where we've come. We are having very difficult times in finding speech and language therapists to serve all the schools, not just us. We superintendents talk about it across the state. We're not producing enough out of our university programs to hire. And they also have options when they go to a speech therapy program. They can work with individuals that have had strokes, work in a hospital setting, work in a one-on-one clinic, work for the schools. So it's a very hard thing to kind of solve. Mr. Lehman, I'll turn it over to you because you recommended this one.
Sure. That $85 an hour is cheaper than last year's. We renegotiated the contracts. It's about $20 cheaper.
Yeah, so I guess my question was, I mean, that number kind of
Per
jumped
hour.
off the page as well. Do we have any updates on recruitment or anything for speech, language pathologists?
We have those positions posted. We are offering signing bonuses and stipends, and we pay more than anyone else in the area, and yet we are still short 3.5 positions. So
It sounds like it was cheaper than last year, but did we use them last year too?
We used a different
we
company
used
last
a
year.
different group, so we actually went out and looked for a less expensive option.
So inquiring minds want to know, just for my own education, that was a joke, you guys got that right? Okay. How does that work? I mean, I had a kid that was in speech therapy, so how does that work?
Not as well as we'd like.
As good as it can. We're working on, it would be a virtual, it is a virtual platform that is used. What we would like to do is to use all of our speech pathologists in front of our kids as possible. And so we are looking at possible adjustments so that our kids receive instruction from our teachers. So, however, we are still short, whether it's providing services to our kids or whether it's to the community resources or the community services out there that we have to provide services to.
And how many vacancies did you say we had? I'm sorry.
3.5.
Well,
I think
this is
what he's-
3.5.
What he's not just saying out loud is we also serve the parochial schools as
Yes.
well. We are required to provide those services as part of a
To the parochial
agreement.
schools?
Right, it's a law. It's a
So
law.
we have parochial, we have our staff providing services to the parochial schools as well.
It's called proportionate share.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Any more on that one? Okay, moving along, 11.9, Presidio, that's a software that we use for our server infrastructure. 3-year renewal is required to maintain hardware support and keep software running and secure and up to date. Servers covered under this renewal are responsible for a majority of the district's critical systems, including info system, library, food service, device management, network infrastructure, and much more. The cost is $214,000. 1110 is agreement with BTU Consultants. The Technology Department requests renewal of a consulting company that we've used from the beginning of time, as long as I know, to help us with E-rate funding. E-rate is a way that we can pull money from different sources to make sure that we're capturing everything we possibly can cover under the E-rate service. And it's submitting application to Federal Communications Commission, Universal Service Administration, Company, School Library Division, and Category 2 in service of equipment and maintenance as a part of that. When they help us, we're able to recoup a lot more money and make sure that we stay on track. So it may be money spent, but it will be money that helps us get money back in return, and it's only a cost of $9,860.
So I have a question that's kind of lined with that. It doesn't have to do with that particular
sure.
contract, but it's actually a question for you, Mr. Minch, about donations and donated items. I know we have a lot of corporations in our with the state and with other healthcare organizations and LRS, Hanson. Like there's a lot of organizations that they can no longer use some of their IT equipment, but it's not like it's defunct, but it's also not something that they can use for whatever reason. They've changed platforms. They've whatever. Are we allowed to accept those donations, or has that ever been a thing, or like? I know that's fraught with, that's probably a 17-point word answer, but just for my own understanding.
We always take a look at it to see
Okay.
if it'd be something that we can use. A lot of times it's not the same as the products that we already have in classrooms, but we're always willing to take a look at whatever they're offering.
Okay, case by case.
Right. And and a lot of times if it's pulled out of their business, it is a little older, and so, yeah.
Okay,
And we're also an Apple system, so.
yeah, right.
Sometimes the things are given just don't work well
That
with our
doesn't cross
system.
over very well sometimes, yeah.
It just depends. We might still be able to use parts and things like that.
Okay,
So,
thank you. Thanks for taking that on the fly.
we gotta vote on that.
I do want to circle back to 11.8. When do we need to have this in place, this contract? Or some contract?
Schools
For these
already
services.
started in 2 schools, and we've got,
School has started, so we need to have it in place. That's why we're bringing it to you now. We've waited as long as we can.
I think also just know if we find a person, then we no longer use that service.
Right.
It's not like we hired this service and that they have to be in place all year. It's an open post for speech and language, and so if we find somebody that finishes up their program at the holidays or right before that, then we can, or changes career and wants to come to us, we hire them and we tell the service we no longer need them. It's that
Right.
easy.
Could this be delayed to the next meeting, or does it have to be voted on at this meeting?
We have to have services in place in terms
The
to follow
reason
the
I'm asking,
IEP.
I understand the predicament that we're in. We have to provide these services. If the jobs are being posted and they're not filled, I understand, but it kind of hurts to see that price, knowing that we're getting as good as it can be kind of services,
I mean, that is what is available. It's the virtual.
Do we pay for it if we don't use it, though?
I'm sorry.
We don't pay for them if we're not using them, right? So,
No, this is the maximum amount that we would pay. So if we go down to, if we find someone within the next week, then that would be 2.5 that would be responsible for coming up short. And so we would then do a virtual or a contract person for those 2.5 positions. So it would decrease. Unfortunately, this is what's available. I agree, it's the worst-case scenario, but we still have to provide the services per Illinois law, per federal law. So,
The contract starts August 11th. Is that what I heard?
it would,
What it says on the agenda.
that's when
Yes.
they enact and the paperwork starts and they're available to our district. However, they don't start working and getting paid until everybody else starts
Right.
working and getting paid.
and we're required by law to provide this to the parochial schools.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I have motions on the floor, so I need a vote. Ms. Hammers?
Blissett,
Aye.
Gilmore,
Aye.
Aye.
Lil Wolf,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Barnett.
Aye.
That is 6 aye votes.
Okay, 12.1, Superintendent.
Okay, Mr. Sherman, I will not skip over you.
President Lael Wolf and members of the board, the superintendent recommends adoption of the personnel recommendations as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Hammers?
Gilmore,
Aye, except for B2, present.
okay. Imes,
Aye.
Lil Wolf,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Barnett,
Aye.
Blissett. That is 6 aye votes with the noted exception on a portion of the personnel recommendations from Mr. Gilmore.
12.2, Superintendent.
I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Miller to read a resolution.
Just to kind of preface this resolution, this is not a vote to approve the budget. This is a vote to start the process, which is about a month and a half long process. So it starts now, and with the dates that are listed in the resolution, we will eventually be asked to approve the budget on September 15th. So this just needs to be read into record. Vice President Lael Wolf, members of the board, the superintendent recommends adoption of the following resolution. Be it resolved to accept the school district's tentative budget for the 2025-2026 school year, which is fiscal year 26, which is being prepared by the administration pursuant to Section 17-1 of the School Code of Illinois, and be it further resolved that this tentative budget is to be made available for public inspection in the school district offices located at 3063 Fiat Avenue, Springfield, Illinois, beginning the 15th of August 2025, and be it further resolved that the Secretary of the Board is directed to cause proper and legal notice of the availability of the budget for inspection to be published, and be it further resolved that the public hearing on this budget is be established for 6:30 p.m. on September 15th, 2025, and be it further resolved that at any time during this period of examination, the tentative budget, which is on file, may be amended or revised.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Hammers?
Imes,
Aye.
Lil Wolf,
Aye.
Miller, Barnett,
Aye.
Blissett,
Aye.
Gilmore. That is 6 aye votes.
Thank you. Our next regular board meeting is Monday, August 18th, which is also
First day of school.
day of school. We meet here in the boardroom at 5:30 for executive session, and then we go back to our regular hours. Summer hours are over, so we'll start at 6:30, starting on August 18th. We have a couple events coming up. We already talked about the 6th and 9th grade orientations on August 7th, and then, of course, the first day of school. Does anybody else on the board have anything else to come before us? Okay. Hearing none and no further business, this meeting's adjourned as of 7:21 p.m. Thank you, everybody.